say it, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to season 11 of the Pro Kabaddi League. Doesn't the first sound of it make like... Check. Photographer, sir.
I would like to begin with the last question first. Could you repeat it, please?
The players. You talked about enhancing the fans' experience. I am talking about what are you doing for the players? I mean, the players where they were earlier in the earlier seasons and where they would be now in terms of income, salaries, whatever.
So I think you have to, if there's a curve or a graph of player salaries, you have to only look at what players were getting in season 1 and what they've been getting in season 10. And so the player purse has gone up from 60 lakh rupees to it's about 5.5 crores right now. But it's not just that multiple, sir, which is important. What is happening is money is a very important part, but one part of it. What is happening is in terms of athletes, what goes into the making of a PKL athlete has transformed over the decade. In terms of injury prevention, in terms of strength and conditioning, in terms of psychological preparation. I think anybody who plays for India almost necessarily would have to be a PKL player today. And it will be true for India juniors team as well as India seniors, men of course. What it has made, along with the players, as I said, the consumption of the player, of being a player, is very important. So what has it done to Kabaddi communities across the country? And they're all over the place, in very significant media geographies of the country: Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Punjab, Haryana, UP. It has made a Kabaddi community believe in themselves and take pride in saying that they are followers of Kabaddi. Now, when you have strong Kabaddi communities, players come out of a shell. They take pride in calling themselves Kabaddi players. And sir, I would urge you to talk about this aspect to as many captains as they will be here today. That is the biggest makeover which has happened. As an aside, I often ask my media advisors to get stories done on what is happening to the state of marriages for the Kabaddi athletes. You know, there are umpteen examples of how highly educated people who are doing well in modern professions, they're taking up spouses among Kabaddi athletes. What it happens to, you asked about again, your question was on money. It is more than money, but let me give you an example. The peak PKL salary now tends to cross 2 crore for an individual athlete. There are 8 athletes who are getting over 1 crore. The median salary for my category A athletes tends to be about 75-80 lakh rupees. I would like you to compare it with the athletes outside cricket for many sports. Then the base salary of what we call the new young player is 6.5 lakh rupees. As an entry point, I think it's many professions in India find that threshold to be a very acceptable entry point for junior most levels. And it is in PKL we give totally the 12 teams their teams have about 430 to 450 athletes totally. But PKL has given rise to a number of Kabaddi tournaments and competitions across the country. Kabaddi recruitment has gone up in public sector organizations. And if you compare that, let's say that even if there were just about 1,500 to 2,000 professional Kabaddi athletes in the country, and this obviously needs a little bit of research, but in many globalized sports, the talent pool in the country like Belgium or Germany or Australia for professional players of the sport would be about 2,500, 3,000. It's just that the strength of the investment which goes into creating those and training those 2,000, 3,000 players is massive. So I think for what it definitely there has been a sea change in the way the sport looks upon its athletes, for sure. There were three other parts, and so the second was which countries. Poland, the Poland conducted European Kabaddi Cup. It focused on beach Kabaddi. When the Honorable Prime Minister was just around the time the Honorable Prime Minister visited Poland. There has been a East Africa Kabaddi Cup for the past 2 or 3 years, in which 4 or 5 African countries participate regularly. There is an Arab Kabaddi League, which has about 7 or 8 countries participating. There is a East Asia or a ASEAN Kabaddi tournament, and these are there is a lot of gap between the level at which PKL is conducted and the level at which these tournaments happen. But the fact that countries are taking up multi-nation Kabaddi competition, it surely is a harbinger of what may be built upon in the second decade of PKL. Is that?
You can.
Is there any complaint or is everyone enjoying the schedule?
Sir, may I have that question again?
So if you could just
About the schedule of the league, PKL, it's spread over 3 months actually. How are the players and the franchises reacting to that? Or is there any scope for any?
पीकेएल के नंबर 1 रेडर हैं और ये जनाब आप दोनों का पहले तो बहुत बहुत स्वागत है. पवन, पहले तो आप ये लीजिए माइक्रोफोन. And I have to ask you this. I think यही पूछा था कि किस तरह से कबड्डी प्लेयर्स के लाइव्स में. अच्छा पवन, आप अग्री करते हैं प्रदीप से?
फैंस तो ऑल ओवर इंडिया है, ऐसा नहीं है कि सिर्फ बेंगलोर में फैंस हैं. तेलुगु के अलग फैन है, तमिल का फैन बेस
एग्जैक्टली. हम हैदराबाद में हैं, लीग की शुरुआत हैदराबाद से हो रही है.
डेफिनेटली.
सो गाचीबोली स्टेडियम में 18 अक्टूबर को ऐसे मतलब
हाँ, कोच नया आया है, नई एनर्जी आई है,
नई सोच आई है.
डेफिनेटली. और वो आपको नज़र आएगी मैट पे कि चीज़ें काफ़ी चेंज हो चुकी हैं. जो लास्ट तेलुगु टाइटन थी, मैं इस बात के लिए तो आपको यकीन दिला सकता हूँ 100% प्रीटी शो कि वो तेलुगु टाइटन तो नहीं है ये. तो कोच नए आने से चीज़ें नहीं आई हैं. बॉटम पे थी टीम, तो मैं चेंज बोल रहा हूँ तो अब इनडायरेक्टली समझ ही जाओ.
समझ जाइए, चेतावनी यहाँ पे वो हो चुकी है, रिलीज हो चुकी है.
देखो, जब हम आए थे, जब हम भी नए प्लेयर ही थे, जब मेहनत करते हैं तो मतलब कि फिटनेस तो आ ही जाती है. तो ये मानते हैं कि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा फिटनेस बहुत ज़रूरी है.
जितनी जो एडवांटेजेस सहूलतें हैं अब, तो कितना आसान है आपको फिटनेस मेंटेन करने में?
नहीं, आसान तो नहीं है, मेहनत तो करनी पड़ती है कि वो मतलब 2 टाइम मेहनत करनी पड़ती है, मतलब बहुत वो लगता है.
सो मेहनत दोनों को ही करनी है. चाहे शुभम, वेलकम सर. Anupam sir, I request you also to please come forward for a photograph with all the 12 captains.
Give you thigh five also after this. We'll give you first thigh five and then okay, thigh five at the count of 3. 3, 2, 1, thigh five. Hold. Okay, all left. Sorry. ये वापस से करेंगे. We'll do this.